Hi, and welcome back. Today I'm going to answer a question that I've gotten a lot throughout the years, and it is especially relevant if, again, you are doing something like the NaNoWriMo challenge or any other self-imposed challenge where you're trying to get a lot of writing done over a period of time, or maybe you're coming off of some sort of sabbatical with writing. The question is, how do I get back to my writing after experiencing a writerly stall? Now, this isn't necessarily the same thing as writer's block, which, if you know me at all, you know I don't believe in writer's block. But some of the tips and tricks that you can get out there for writer's block may help. But today I've got 3 new tips on how to get out of a writerly stall. The first one is actually related to a video I recently recorded on how to connect with characters. So the first piece of advice on getting out of that stall is, how about you have a conversation with one of your characters? Especially if you want to have a conversation with someone other than your protagonist, to really reinvigorate yourself and get those creative juices flowing and get yourself past a hump. Sometimes it's really important to look at different ways or things that seem irregular or not, they seem counterintuitive. And this is one of those things. If you're having a hard time connecting with a protagonist, maybe you should try connecting with one of the other characters instead. We're just looking to get the juices flowing again. Okay, and sometimes that change in perspective from another character can really be helpful. So go check out the other video if you want more details about how exactly to go through having a conversation with a character. The second piece of advice is also talking, and you will notice that even if you do writing on that first one, all of these pieces of advice today have to do with talking. And there is a specific reason, which I hope to get to after I give you the third tip. So the second tip is actually to tell someone about it. How to get through a writerly stall? Well, why don't you go and tell somebody who would be interested to hear about it? And if you feel like you haven't got anybody you want to trust to talk about, or you're afraid that the idea is too new, and I'm totally down with that, and I don't want you to share, certainly not the writing, I don't want you to share before you're ready, you could have a fake interview. How about you set up even some questions beforehand from an interviewer that is going to be interviewing you on this amazing book that you wrote, and they have specific questions to get you to recall the most pertinent points about it, or if it was a novel, talking about the characters themselves or the transformation that took place, or anything that gets you excited and thinking about things slightly differently than the way that you're thinking when you're sitting down to write. The third piece of advice is similar but different. And I want you really, really to withhold your judgment about this. But sometimes when we are stuck and we can't get the words out, somehow it won't flow all the way through to our fingers and into the computer, we need to stop trying to knock our head against that particular wall and take the path of least resistance. And what that is for a lot of us is talking. So how about you try using a recorder and then have those words transcribed. So you can still write what you thought you wanted to write and then send it to a service like rev.com. They will send you back the transcription. Now you'll still need to clean it up. So this is the point. You're starting the path of least resistance by talking about it. Doesn't matter if it's messy, doesn't matter if it's shit, because as we know, a first draft of anything, even if you're doing it the right way and writing it all, is still not going to be perfectly polished first time around. So talk it, have it transcribed, and then edit it. Once you've taken that movement from here, and then you are putting it into Word format so that you still maybe want that conversational style, but you want to have it in a way that's more appealing to readers, well, now you're editing it. So you've got something to work with, right? So give those 3 things a try. The reason that I'm recommending conversation in each of these, right, the talking, is because we're using a different part of our brain. And sometimes if you are feeling it's an uphill battle to get things out in the normal, quote unquote, normal writerly way, there is no normal. But if you're feeling stuck, then stop trying to do it in the stuck way and give yourself a break and try it in a slightly different way. Anything to get past that clog, anything to get past that feeling of stall is going to be helpful. I would love to hear from you now on what sorts of things you might have done, whether it's one of those 3 tips or something I haven't discussed that has gotten you out of a writerly stall. Feel free to share it in the comments. Of course, as always, if you have a question you want me to answer about writing, publishing, literary agents, whatever, feel free to put that in the comments or send me an email to anjanette@storyaslife.com. And until next time, you have a story to share. It's time to tell it. Bye-bye.